are going to dictate value now too. So let's say if Drake London becomes the automatic number one wide receiver on the team, which he basically fills that role, yes, it's dynasty and long term, but you're constantly trying to overturn value. And if London blows up this year, you could sell him at such a high price.
Yeah, I guess you could say that about anybody, though.
Right, but that's why, that's why we're honing in on the situation that they find themselves in currently.
I don't know. I think that's honestly a little bit of a special situation. You're talking about this situation specifically because Calvin Ridley is, expected probably to come back next year too. So he's the number one. Drake London is going to be the number two. And then you got Kyle Pitts there and Cordero Patterson all fighting for targets also. It was a nice deep class, but it was probably a bad year to have a top pick like this. Actually, a little bit surprising here, Matt. Kenneth Walker goes to Seattle and he goes number 3 overall. Were you a bit surprised that he was number 3?
I don't know. Maybe he knows something I don't, but I just don't think Seattle's going to be a very good team, and there's a lot of mouths to feed there still. I mean, don't they have like 7 running backs already?
Well, they got Penny there. Penny looked amazing at the end of last year. And they have
Chris Carson still there?
Chris Carson is there. He's under contract. However, with his neck injury, his future is very much in doubt at the moment. Not sure when he's coming back. And frankly, I mean, even if he does come back, this guy's just going to get injured again anyway. So that running back position it's up for grabs right now, I will say.
So maybe he comes in and just steals the show. Who knows?
Well, you got to look at what Rashad Penny did last year. Rashad Penny. Let's see.
He was a stud at the end of the season.
He really was. And
he's another guy, though, with injury history. That's why you didn't see him till the end of the season.
You got to look at what Rashad Penny did last year. So in 4 out of his last 5 games, he rushed for 632 yards in 4 games and 6 touchdowns. If you average that out over a full season, that's over 2,600 rushing yards and 25 touchdowns. That smashes Eric Dickerson's single-season rushing record by over 500 yards, Matt. I mean, obviously that's not going to happen. But Rashad Penny looked very good last year. I would say they're kind of similar people, though, right? Like Rashad Penny, you don't really want him in on 3rd down. Kenneth Walker is not really a 3rd down back either, right? I mean, he didn't run a whole lot of routes at Michigan State. So you worry about his catching ability, you worry about his pass blocking. But as far as his rushing, I mean, he had 18 touchdowns last year, 1,600 rush yards. So definitely a 1st down and 2nd down kind of guy. Feels similar to Rashad Penny. I mean, who knows? Penny seems to be the favorite to take that over. But if he were to get hurt or, if he does something to get back in Pete Carroll's doghouse, then yeah, I mean, that could be the steal of the draft right there at number 3. He might, I wouldn't even mind taking him. If he went number 1 overall, I wouldn't have been that shocked, to be honest with you. But I think most people had him kind of in the middle of the 1st round. Had a few of these wide receivers going over him.
Yeah, someone's likely to get hurt there. They have DJ Dallas too, don't forget. And they still have Chris Carson in as the 3rd string in the depth chart that I'm reading right now. But
don't forget about DJ. Yeah, I totally forgot about DJ Dallas, man. You have him on your fantasy team, don't you?
No, I think that contract has expired, actually.
Oh, that was your number 1 running back for a while there, I think, wasn't it?
He did get some starting reps last year.
Yeah. I think I actually started him 1 week in my big money league for some reason over Damian Harris. I think that was that was 2 seasons ago. Yeah, I remember that. I don't know what. Oh, no, that was Travis Homer. Travis Homer is also a guy. But those are like your third down guys, right? Travis Homer, DJ Dallas. Chris Carson was a 3-down back. So it's tough to see, either of these running backs just taking all the Chris Carson reps. But, Penny goes down, and that's basically Walker's job. But still, a lot of people had him like going later. A lot of people had these wide receivers going before. Steve, you talked about Treylon Burks, or Matt. Matt talked about him actually going number 1, I believe, right? Treylon Burks goes number 4 to Tennessee. Do you think he should have gone higher, Steve?
I don't mind where he went just based on how it went as far as drafting positionally. Like if two of the guys in the top 4 thought that they needed running backs or valued the running back position a little better. Yeah, I mean, the question becomes, do I have a problem with Drake London being drafted over Treylon Burks? And the answer is no. I think Treylon Burks has a lot of upside. I do think that that's probably exactly the spot where I would have drafted him if he was available. I could see him going at 3, but again, with the whole running back situation in Seattle, if you take a chance on Kenneth Walker and it pans out, boom. But I really don't mind how the first 4 kind of played out there.
And then how do you feel about his fit in that offense? He's a big physical guy. You like that about him? Kind of A.J. Brown could possibly just come in. I mean, he's going to be coming in immediately and getting reps, right? It's not like he's the only guy there. Robert Woods is still there. And, I don't know if there's enough to go around from Ryan Tannehill to feed both of them. But what do you think about from a fantasy standpoint? Do you think that he can be better than A.J. Brown?
No,
yeah. I agree with Matt here because the bottom line is this is still Derrick Henry's team. Now, Robert Woods, we expect him, I believe, to miss the first X number of weeks of the season, right? Because he didn't even tear his ACL until late in the year, like November, when they acquired Odell, the Rams did. So Treylon Burks is going to be rolled out here, getting the number 1 corner on the team. So he better develop a relationship with Tannehill and a rapport that comes quickly, because if not, he might get off to a sluggish start here.
Robert Woods apparently had a clean ACL tear, so could possibly be back in time for the start of the regular season.
These guys are freaks, dude. Like, what happened to 16-month rehab for an ACL? Adrian Peterson came back in 12 months and everybody's like, oh my God, he's a freak. And now dudes are doing it in 8-9 months. It's like, Jesus.
Human growth hormone.
Yeah.
Yeah, just give them
and cocaine.
Putting robot parts in these
love
people.
That combo. Yeah, a lot of names that I've never heard of on the depth chart of the Titans. You got Racy McMath.
Oh,
that sounds like a made up name.
That's the best name in the NFL, though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's not going to do a whole lot. He's not
Racy?
Racy McMath is not going to compete for a lot of snaps. Robert Woods, Treylon Burks. Yeah. I mean, I just don't see a ton of upside here. Treylon Burks. I'm a little bit surprised that a guy like Jameson Williams didn't go earlier just because how good of a prospect he is. But I don't know. I guess Bang Bang Bird Gang was looking at Treylon Burks thinking to himself that he's going to just get a lot of work immediately. And he could. Yeah, for sure.
Definitely could.
However, you look at the guy that went next, Garrett Wilson, to the Jets.
Hold on. Let's call a timeout here because let's be fair here to Bang Bang Bird Gang because he got both of them. So
yeah, that's a pretty good haul, I will say.
Yeah. So He got the steal. He got the best value in Jamison Williams at the 10th pick, I think it was.
9.
But 9. He ended up
Crazy.
with both of those receivers. So that's a pretty, if we're being fair.
I wonder if he was sitting there like waffling between the two. Also, like, oh, who do I take? Burks or Williams? And then end up getting him. That's a pretty good haul, I will say. We'll get to Jamison Williams in a little bit. Number 5 went Garrett Wilson, another Jet. Matt, are we on these Jets this year for real?
Wilson to Wilson.
Ugh. Gross. I don't really have a lot to say about this because I think I've said it all.
Well, it doesn't even matter because at this moment, the team that he was drafted to at number 5 doesn't even own him anymore.
He got traded while we were talking about it?
Yes, that's correct.
What is this? So Garrett Wilson for Dameon Pierce, Michael Gallup, and a 3rd-round draft pick. Do you think the 3rd-round draft pick was the deal breaker? Do you think that he just wanted to get a little bit more? Can I at least get a 3rd-round pick so I can feel like I get a little bit more? What? 2025 3rd-round pick, too. Are you kidding? He was really trying to get rid of Garrett Wilson. I'll bet you that I could have traded him James Cook for Garrett Wilson straight up. He would have taken that. He's a Bills fan, too. Why did he take him here? He was talking about trading back. See, the 5th and 7th pick. He was talking about trading back. Yeah, I really hated this draft because he went Garrett Wilson, number 5. And a great prospect, right? I can't buy in on the Jets yet. So, Matt, do you have a lot to say about Garrett Wilson, or should we just
Garrett Wilson? Yeah, I mean, the Jets. We keep talking about them.
And didn't they just draft a pretty good wide receiver last year? Also, that's kind of feels like the same guy.
Essentially, they just keep drafting players and doing nothing. So will that change this year? That's the big question everyone's asking themselves. Elijah, he started to play a little bit better at the end of the year. Braxton Berrios, not horrible. They still have Corey Davis. Like, there's a lot of players still there on that roster.
Yeah, Elijah Moore had a really nice season, rookie season, especially being on the Jets there. So, I don't know. They kind of feel similar. And then Braxton Berrios. By the way, Braxton Berrios, I think, is like 5'6". Is that right? I just saw that. That's crazy. I didn't even know you can be that short and be in the NFL.
But he's hung massively.
Huge dong, you think? You've seen it.
That's what I heard.
Okay. Oh, you heard.
Big Dog Braxton, they call him.
I don't see any reason why this offense shouldn't be good. Their offensive line is solid. They got some nice weapons, wide receiver. They got 2 nice running backs, but they are probably just going to continue to suck because that's what the Jets do.
If you're Caucasian and you have an R&B name like Braxton, you are definitely hung.
It's a great porn name. So Matt's on the Jets. Matt's like, we talked about this, I think.
Well, we just talked about their win total. Yeah. I'm not thinking they make a run deep and win a Super Bowl, but I think they might win 7 games.
Who, the Jets?
That's what I said, yeah. Told you that.
I leave this podcast to take a piss for 2 minutes and the shit goes off the rails.
That was Matt. I had nothing to do with that. That's hilarious.
7
you sounded angry.
7 wins?
You sounded mad about that. Yeah, I would take the under on that. Especially playing the Bills and the Patriots and the
that might be lofty. What was it even? I thought the win total, I thought we all agreed that it seemed like tasty.
Definitely not 7. The Giants under 7.
Oh yeah, that was the Giants under 7. I don't know.
Well, whatever. Can we just stop? Let's stop talking about the Jets. We talked a lot about the Jets. I actually want to move on to some guy. This guy I think should have gone over Garrett Wilson. I might have even taken him over Treylon Burks at number 4 just because this probably isn't the greatest draft class. Steve loves this guy. Chris Olave goes to the New Orleans Saints. I mean, come on, that's kind of sexy, man. He's a nice player. He's a nice prospect. A lot of production.
He's small and fast, dude. Listen, You mark my words, 3 years from now, that shit is not going to translate.